If you deny it, fie upon your law. There is no force in the decrees of Venice. I stand here for judgment. Answer, shall I have it?
Upon my part, I may dismiss this court, unless Bellario, a learned doctor whom I have sent for to determine this, come here today.
My lord, there stays without a messenger with letters from the doctor, and you come from Padua.
Bring us the letters. Call in the messenger.
Good cheer, Antonio. What man courage yet? The Jew shall have my flesh, blood, bones and all, ere thou shalt lose for me one jot of blood.
No. I am a tainted wether of the flock. Meat is for death. The weakest kind of fruit drops earliest to the ground, and so let me. You cannot better be employed, Bassanio, than to live still and write mine epitaph.
Came you from Padua, from Bellario?
From both, my lord. Bellario greets your grace.
Why dost thou whet thy knife so earnestly?
To cut the forfeiture from that bankrupt there.
Thou makes thy knife keen, but no metal can. No, not the hangman's axe bear half the keenness of thy sharp envy. Can no prayers pierce thee?
No, none that thou hast wit enough to make.
Oh, be thou damned, inexorable dog! And for thy life let justice be accused. Thou almost makes me waver in my faith to hold opinion with Pythagoras that souls of animals infuse themselves into the trunks of men. Thy currish spirit governed a wolf, who hanged for human slaughter, even from the gallows did his fell soul fleet, and whilst thou layest in thy unhallowed dam, infused itself in thee. For thy desires are wolfish, bloody, starved and ravenous.
Till thou canst reel the seal from off my bond, thou but offend'st thy lungs to speak so loud. Repair thy wit, good youth, or it will fall to cureless ruin. I stand here for law.
This letter from Bellario doth commend a young and learned doctor to our court. Where is he?
He attendeth here hard by to know your answer, whether you'll admit him.
Oh, with all my heart. Some 3 or 4 of you go give him courteous conduct in this place. Meantime, the court shall hear Bellario's letter. Your Grace shall understand that at the receipt of your letter I am very sick. But in the instant that your messenger came, in loving visitation was with me a young doctor of Rome. His name is Balthazar. I acquainted him with the cause and controversy between the Jew and Antonio the merchant. We turned our many books together. He is furnished with my opinion, which, bettered with his own learning, the greatness whereof I cannot enough commend, and it comes with him at my importunity to fill up your Grace's request in my stead. I beseech you, let his lack of years be no impediment to let him lack a reverent estimation, for I never knew so young a body. With so old a head. I leave him to your gracious acceptance, whose trial shall better publish his commendation. You hear the learned Bellario what he writes. And here, I take it, is the doctor come. Give me your hand. Came you from old Bellario?
I did, my lord.
You are welcome. Yes. Take your place. Are you acquainted with the difference that holds this present question in the court?
I am informed thoroughly of the cause. Which is the merchant here and which the Jew?
Antonio and old Shylock both stand for.
Is your name Shylock?
Shylock is my name.
Of a strange nature is the suit you follow. Yet in such rule that the Venetian law cannot impugn you as you do proceed. You stand within his danger, do you not?
Aye, so he says.
Do you confess the bond?
I do.
Then must the Jew be merciful?
On what compulsion must I? Tell me that.
quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show likest gods, when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice, none of us should see salvation. Oh. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which, if thou follow this strict court of Venice, must needs give sentence against the merchant there.
My deeds upon my head, I crave the law, the penalty and forfeit of my bond.
Is he not able to discharge the money?
Yes, here I tender it for him in the court, yea, thrice that sum. If that will not suffice, I'll be bound to pay 10 times more and forfeit of my hands, my head, my heart. And if this will not suffice, it must appear that malice bears down truth. And I beseech you, wrest once the law into your authority to do a great right, to do a little wrong, and curb this cruel devil of his will.
It must not be. There is no power in Venice can alter a decree established. 'Twill be recorded as a precedent, and many an error by the same example will rush into the state. It cannot be.
A Daniel come to judgment. Yea, a Daniel, O wise young judge, how I do honor thee.
I pray you let me look upon the bond.
It is most reverend document.
Shylock, there's thrice thy money offered thee.
An oath. An oath. I have an oath in heaven. Shall I lay perjury upon my soul? No, not from Venice.
By this bond is forfeit. And lawfully by this, the Jew may claim a pound of flesh to be by him cut off, nearest the merchant's heart.
Oh, noble judge, oh, excellent young man.
Be merciful. Take thrice thy money. Bid me tear the bond.
When it is paid according to the tenor, it doth appear you are a worthy judge. You know the law. Your exposition hath been most sound. I charge you, by the law, whereof you are a well-deserving pillar, proceed to judgment. By my soul I swear there is no power in the tongue of man to alter me. I stay here on my bond.
Most heartily I do beseech the court to give the judgment.
Why then thus it is. For the intent and purpose of the law hath full relation to the penalty which here appeareth due upon the bond.
It's very true, O wise and upright judge. How much more elder art thou than thy looks?
You must prepare your bosom for his knife.
His breast, so says the bond, doth it not, a noble judge? Nearest his heart, those are the very words.
It is so. Are there balance here to weigh the flesh?
Have them ready.
Have by some surgeon, Shylock, on your charge, to stop his wounds, lest he do bleed to death.
It's so nominated in the bond.
It is not so expressed, but what of that? 'Twere good you do so much for charity.
Cannot find it.
Oh, good.
'Tis not in the bond!
You, merchant, have you anything to say?
But little. I am armed and well prepared.
Give me your hand, Bassanio. Very well. Oh, now grieve not that I am fallen to this for you. For herein fortune shows herself more kind than is her custom. It is still her use to let the wretched man outlive his wealth, to view with hollow eye and wrinkled brow an age of poverty, from which lingering penance of such misery doth she cut me off. No, repent but you that you shall lose your friend.